It was a wild 32-33 Denver Broncos victory. One for the ages, but one with maybe some lessons as well. We're going to talk about this game, talk about the news of the week, maybe even get a first hand, view of the game, who happened to be there from the posse. Let's get this all started. Oh, I don't know, right about now. Welcome in, everybody, to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network, sponsored by the amazing Morgan Trinkets. My name is Keith Brugman, and I got my good friend, Wednesday night buddy, go in the post-game review of what happened, and I got to give a little bit of credit to the judge, Jody Moncrief, who I'm welcoming to the show right now because I came in pretty excited on Sunday after we won the game, and he told me to, back up. There's some things we need to look at, and we're going to look at them tonight. Welcome to the show, Judge. How you doing, man?
What's up, Keith? What's up, everyone? We need to put that game in the rearview mirror. It was an exciting fourth quarter and one for the ages, but the first three quarters were pretty bad. And hopefully they address some things this week, and hopefully with one of the worst defenses coming to town, you can figure out some things and get some things right on offense and get that rolling, because that is the one piece that this team is missing currently.
Not missing out on Ernie Mays coming in here saying, "Go Broncos country only," and hello to Keith and friends, including maybe the Cowgirls. He says, "Go Broncos country only," and hello, Keith and friends. All right. Adam, Kayla coming in here and saying, "Good evening, go Broncos country." Williams, Mr. Javonte Williams, he looks amazing. We must start fast in Dallas. Is stacked with wide outs. Maybe help me out there a little bit.
I think he's saying they're loaded at wide receiver with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens.
Yep, Dallas.
Ferguson at tight end.
Yeah, Ferguson. 50 catches already through 6 games. So Ferguson, just another piece of the puzzle. Mr. Michael Ronquillo, and I'm going to be trying to check up on comments and stars and the whole 9 yards. But Mr. Michael Ronquillo, typically a star giver, I'll just say that right off the bat, comes in, says, "Good evening, Keith and Jody and Gobo Broncos, blue and orange hearts. Mile high salute." Comes in big when we had an alumni weekend. Man, what a show for the alumni that the Denver Broncos put on in the fourth quarter. Yeah. He says, "Yeah, I kind of cut off what I meant there." Yeah, we'll have a big challenge ahead of us when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. But let's face it, Jody, we had a big challenge this last Sunday when we faced off against the New York Football Giants, because they had our number for 3 quarters plus. 3 quarters plus, and 100 Facebook stars from Michael Ronquillo. Thanks for helping me out there, Michael. I appreciate you and love you. Thanks for the support on the show, man. It's what it's all about, man. That's why we're here, and not just for the 100 stars, but for you all and for the posse. We appreciate you a ton. 3 quarters of dominance there, Jody.
Yeah, it was pretty rough on both sides of this. awesome D we have, gave up some plays, and the offense couldn't do anything. Something Sean Payton addressed. He was vague in his comments, but he said they have changed some things up how they are approaching practice this week. So hopefully they get some things figured out, because you can't rely on 33 points in the fourth quarter, and that's definitely not going to work against the number one scoring team in football, and the Cowboys. So
I'm going to take that a step further. He said that they're changing a few things up. He's not going to let us know what the heck it is. But he also said that it was, and I forget how he said it, so I'm paraphrasing, but it was going to be more assimilated to the game itself. What, in your mind, would help in practice to better help the Broncos get off to a faster start than 0 points through 3 quarters, Jody?
tempo, and it don't have to be hurry up tempo. I mean, you can quick huddle and get to the line, that type of things. It would shorten up some play calls. The 8-second play call that Sean Payton sends in every play would shorten that up. And I think it would really help Bo Nix. That's kind of where that's where he's been thriving lately. And that even goes back to college when they were kind of up tempo. He kind of just thrives in that a little bit more. I don't want to say backyard football, but it's more not as in depth, if that makes sense, where he can just kind of play football. And it keeps the defense. I mean, they're not going to be able to sub, gets them tired, some different things. So I know you can't do that all game long, because you put your defense, you go and score in 2 plays, they're back on the field. So you can't do that every time. But I guess what's the difference of going 3 and out every time? So, but you got to do something to get Bo in rhythm, because if you watch him, it's not that he can't make throws, and there's one that just sticks in my mind. He threw it in between 2 guys for about 20 yards, and I think it was to Sutton or Franklin, or on the sideline. That is an NFL throw, and that has to be accurate and perfect. And it was. He can make those throws, but he's got to open it up. So I hope that's part of what he's talking about. I also hope that they change some things up and get rid of these little bubble screens. I mean, I heard today they ran 11 of them last week. It's too much. They're not working. Some are just the handful that they run that work. I like when they get them to Mims and different things, but just to go there it's not working. He's got to let Bo open it up, and if that means he throws a couple more picks, then so be it. I don't really care anymore, because what's the difference of a pick that he throws the ball 40 yards or 3 and out and you punt it? You've got to try some different things and open some stuff up.
Sean Payton challenged the question of how many of those screens were successful, and they started with 2, and then 3, and then 4, and he's like, it was more. You need to go back and you need to go take a look. Sean Payton's going to be, I think, pretty stuck to those screens. But you're absolutely right. Whether it be tempo, whether it be pushing it down the field, whether it be the run game getting established, is something that I would love to see, Jody, because the run game wasn't necessarily established in this last victory. And obviously, when you were putting up points, you didn't have the luxury of sitting back and trying to run the ball at that point, as you were down 32 points. However many points it was at any given time, but you had to score 33 points in a fourth quarter effort. It's not the time to run the ball, but we need to be able to get that run game going. We didn't see it in this game. Haven't seen it in prior games, and we've been talking about that quite a bit. We've had one game. We've had one real game where we had J.K. Dobbins rolling.
And what I don't understand is he busted off that 35-yarder or whatever it was, and then we just go away from it. He doesn't. That is probably 90% of why I think this O struggles, because Sean Payton has not figured out how to use the run when to use the run and how to do it. It's just like a coin flip when he's going to run the ball. He doesn't have a plan or anything to set the run up because he doesn't really want to run the ball. And what his run game is these little bubble screens and stuff like that.
Yeah. I heard someone talking about, when you get kind of locked into who you are and your scheme, especially in a coach like Sean Payton, it's tough to maybe diverge a little bit and find out those things that are missing and start to utilize them, like the run game, which like I said, we haven't seen a ton of. It's funny, we have a few comments I need to get caught up on. One, Michael Ronquillo just mentioning that they had a special guest over on Mile High Huddle, and a very special guest as Rich Upchurch made the show. And I'll just say, man, Rich Upchurch, by all means, he can come on this show anytime. We'll have a little guest of our own here in just a moment, and can't wait to talk to him as well. Mr. Patrick Wiltsey coming in here and saying, "Aloha, Judge and Bruggs. Good to see you, Patrick. Thank you for the Lion Coffee, unofficial sponsor of this show and official sponsor of Keith getting up and getting going every single day. Appreciate Lion Coffee. Check out lioncoffee.com. Mr. Phil McLaughlin coming in and saying, "Good evening, Keith Judge. Let's hope Peyton and Bo. Let's hope Peyton lets Bo be Bo, just like what you were talking about. Let him use his legs, get him outside, throw or pass the ball. Cowboys will let us." That defense that you were talking about a little bit. One thing I would say is they also have an offense that we'll get after as well. Lots of comments. You guys are just absolutely killing it. Peter Johnson, good to see you. Appreciate you so much. He says, hot take for the week: JK rushes for 150 yards. Got to get to some new faces that, like Larry, that's coming in here, says, hey, thanks for sharing. Larry, thanks for coming in here, being a part of it over here on Facebook. And by all means, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. It's what we're all about. Love to get you in the conversation as well. Stacy Elizabeth Kelly is in here as well. Says, we really will have huge problems if we keep almost losing these subpar teams. The Jets hadn't won a game all year. They almost beat us. We need to throw the ball accurately, and we need to run the ball with real plans. And it's sometimes a little bit tougher to read that comment when it's on the screen for me. So I read it, and then I'll throw that up on the screen. Just another posse member coming in here and dropping in and making their presence known. I'm going to drop our special guest in right now, Jody. Spend about 10 minutes talking to our special guest who was there firsthand. Welcome in, Mr. Roy Osborne. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome in, buddy. You're one of the few, and I certainly mean one of the few, that got to see one of the greatest comebacks, if not the greatest comeback in NFL history when it comes to a fourth quarter. In this last week, when you saw the Broncos win in a 32-33 victory. First off, man, I got to ask you. I know that we said that we're going to go from the beginning to end, man, but that emotion at the end of the game, what was that like in the stadium at that time, man?
Well, I'll tell you, the decibel level went from about 115 to 122.
Off the charts, baby.
Yeah. And it was, well, the whole, when people started to leave like ants on an ant mound, I go, we ain't leaving. I just spent a lot of time doing this, planned this, paid for it, We're staying. I don't care if we win or lose.
Me and you might both, my friend. I would be right there with you, side by side. I go to the bitter end. Lots of friends coming in and saying hello. Pearl saying hi, Roy. Ernie saying nice, Roy Osborne. And Jeremy Dresser saying, "What's up, Roy Osborne?" Zach Craig, I don't know if that sounds familiar, says, "Speak
That's my
out
nephew.
loud.
That's
Speak
my
out loud,
nephew.
Uncle." Yep, speak out loud, Uncle. And Mr. Michael Ronquillo coming in and says, "My man, Roy Osborne." Roy, your very first game that you've ever attended. Yeah, like I said, what a game to go to. Tell me about the experience of arriving at that stadium, getting ready for the game. I know you did a little bit of tailgating as well. What did you think about the experience before kickoff even happened?
Well, here's what I can tell you. When I went actually into the stadium, everything was electrifying. People were just off the wall, the charts. I can probably guarantee that the corridors in the stadium were louder than the stadium itself, just by the way the air mounted. The 122 decibel level that I was telling you about was it wasn't as loud as the corridors before and after.
You still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Quite an experience, eh? Quite an experience, like you said. Loud. I got one more question. And then maybe I'll have our good friend the judge ask a question or two as well. By the way, Posse, if you have a question for Roy, by all means, chime in. Roy, what percentage of Broncos fans end up leaving the game and missing compared to how packed it was at the very, very brim?
I would say, from what I was seeing, it was about 20%, 25% leaving.
Okay, that I can deal with that. I can deal with that. That's a pretty low number. The diehards, 80% of us stuck it out there, watched to the bitter end, saw that victory. I'm okay with that, man. I think that still speaks pretty well about Broncos country. Judge, do you have a question for Roy here?
Yeah, I do. What was the halftime like with the Super Bowl 50 tribute and the Demaryius Thomas, Ring of Fame induction?
Oh my God. That was, all I got to say is that was one, all I got to say for this whole trip was a very good life experience. But that halftime show was so electric. And getting to see Peyton Manning, Wade Phillips, all of them come out. Just, I wouldn't miss that for the world. And when I booked this trip, I had no clue that this was happening until after the fact. So that was even more special to me. And I was saying to the wife, I go, man, this is going to be good. Yeah. And it was. But the halftime show was awesome, for sure. And Miles, the mascot, he climbed up on the top of the stadium, and he had a thing or two to say. So that was awesome too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What an experience. Like you said, especially not knowing. There was a lot of things you didn't know about heading into this game, let alone how amazing it would end. One for the ages. One that I can't even imagine being present for. I've only been present for a handful of games. Jody's been lucky to go to a few more. But this one has to rank up as one of the most, leaving with your legs barely underneath you as you're walking through those corridors, just with the emotion and the electricity in the air, as you were kind of talking about, my friend.
Yeah, it was. Here's what I can say is I talked to a lot of Giants fans because, Kenny Kirkpatrick, I had an assignment to do for him. But I gotta say, them Giants fans were really cordial. I talked to, there's 3 people sitting next to me that were from New York. They're Broncos fans. And then there's from New Jersey and Pennsylvania that was sitting in front of me. They're Giants fans. So they're happen to be heckling against each other. And so why not join in? That's what I did.
Expect no less, Roy. Expect no less. Well, one last question for me. Jody, get one queued up as well. But what will you take away from the game, the experience, just being out there? What's the one thing that if your grandkids are asking you, maybe your nephew who joined us in the comments a little bit earlier, if you got to sit down with them, what's the one thing you'll want to always relay to them about this game, this experience?
Just soak in the environment. And I would say just talk to people. Just have a social environment. Be respectful around people. And have fun. I know my nephew, he's a big Bronco fan, and we talked about this when I got home. I go, this is awesome. That's about all I can say. And there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happened that I didn't expect to happen, but it did. But I got through it. But I would say you just watch that interception, in the 4th quarter. That actually happened in front of me, so that was awesome. And I got to see Singleton take out Scattaboo. I was trying to I was trying to watch 3 people at once. It just happened so fast. So it was like, okay, which one do I follow?
It's a lot to take in, my friend. It's a lot to take in. Sounds like you had fantastic seats as well. Jody, any last question for Roy here before we cut him loose?
Did you get to make the Demaryius Thomas statue unveiling?
I actually did go around there. It was after the unveiling, but I did go around there, and it was so cool.
It's a pretty. I was gonna say it's a pretty awesome place that where all the statues are at, and from what I understand, am I right in what I'm saying here? Peyton Manning wanted his spot next to Demaryius as well.
Yeah. Can I add one thing? What was really cool? After the game, we're heading out to the parking lot. I won't say what happened after that, but it was good things. But I got to walk right next to Rick Upchurch. That was awesome.
That is awesome.
And a lot of people asked for his autograph, and he didn't want to do any autographs. Mm-hmm. So when I walked next to him, I was like, all right, I respect your privacy. But he's a grand guy. I didn't think he was as tall as he was.
Amazing once you get up next to those athletes sometimes, right there, Roy?
Exactly. I was like, you're like about 8 foot tall.
Sometimes it's just their presence, and the presence of a great like Rick Upchurch seems always a little bit taller when you maybe get around him sometimes.
Yeah. And I ran into Rod Smith was there.
Mm.
I just caught a glimpse of him.
Pretty fun though, man. Good to see all the alumni. It's not every single game you get that opportunity, but a game like this, like you said, you didn't know what you signed up for, Roy, but you signed up for one heck of a good one, whether it be Demaryius Thomas getting into the Ring of Fame, whether it be alumni for Super Bowl 50, or whether it be that fourth quarter that will forever be imprinted in your memory, I'm sure. All the different images that was that 32-33 comeback victory for the Denver Broncos, man. I can't even imagine, my friend.
And it all happened within the last, people say 6 minutes. It happened in the last part of the third quarter when I started watching the momentum shift.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, I got 3 notes of my game breakdown, and I got four I was shit pages, not notes. 3 pages of the game breakdown, and I got 4 pages of memories. If that tells you anything.
I can only imagine, my friend. Hey, thanks for making a memory with us tonight, man. I appreciate you coming on here, sharing a little bit about the experience. Like I said, it's a great one, and it's great having a posse member on here, man. We appreciate your support, buddy. Anything you got to say to the posse members before we get you on out of here, my friend?
I just want to say thank you for being a Broncos fan. Thank you for showing your love towards Keith, Judge, Kenny, and the Rocket Man himself. And I want to say hi to the Ronk, Pearl Heater, which she said I was on TV the other day. I didn't even notice it, but that's a funny story in itself. But no, I just want to say thank you to having me on, and thank you for all the posse, just for watching.
Ain't that the truth, Roy? We appreciate it, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time this evening. Kind of giving us a report, and can't wait we'll chat more offline about all the great experiences you've had, man.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Have a great night, man. And look forward to that, Broncos Cowboys game. And hopefully it doesn't come down to the final seconds. Hopefully we get a victory a little bit easier this week to come.
To tell you honestly, before I get off, I have mixed emotions about this one.
I think you will be in a group of many, my friend. Again, Roy, thank you very much, man. A mile high salute, buddy, before we get out of here, man. All right? Take care, buddy. Good to see you. Can't wait to talk again, man.
Yep. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, man. There it is, man. Good to have. Oh boy, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's do that. All right, there we go. My goodness gracious. I need a producer. No. Great to have Roy on here, man. I can't imagine being at that game, man. That would be a wild game to be at. You spoke about being at games yourself, Judge, but you got to admit, man, what a game to walk out the tunnels on. You know what I mean? That would have been a fun one.
Yeah, and especially, sticking around because, like he said, you'd hate to be those people that left early.
Ain't that the truth, man? I always watch them. Anytime I ever at any venue for whatever reason, I see them like leaving. I'm like, man, I would just hate to be that person that ended up in the situation that they ended up in this last Sunday. You know what I mean? Where you just walked out on the largest comeback in NFL history. I remember watching Frank Reich and the Buffalo Bills in one of the largest comebacks in NFL history at the time, and watching that to the very bitter end. We'll get into this more in a second, Judge, but like we said, there's criticisms that come with a victory as well. And I never, it never contextually came together for me. I was just like, woohoo, how great is it to have one of the best comebacks in ever? But that also means that you really didn't do well for a very long time,
Right.
in order to have one of the greatest comebacks in history. And the Broncos now kind of join that group. One thing that I want to get to, we're going to go right off the heels of Roy and his amazing experience at this last game into our amazing sponsor, Pearl, who's coming in here and saying that was so much fun talking with Roy. Also is our amazing sponsor and has an amazing company. That company is Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices for over 34 years. They once were a nationwide company. Now they hang out in just northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, doing shows left, right, and otherwise at just about any fairgrounds, dog show, gem show that you can shake a stick at. If you can't get over there, though, I know a couple of different ways you can get a hold of them and line yourself up with some amazing treasures, especially with holidays right around the corner. You can head on over to Morgan Trinkets on Etsy by typing in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. I'll go ahead and I'll get that flashed up on the screen. And Etsy is a fantastic place where all orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free, and all major credit cards are accepted. Also, Pearl Heater started up an eBay store as well, but it's under Pearl Heat, if I remember correctly, Pearl Heat, and you can look that up and you'll find everything that Morgan Trinkets has to offer over there. And obviously all terms and conditions apply over on eBay as well. Check out Morgan Trinkets, man. They've been a fantastic sponsor of us. They've been an amazing provider of what they do to a lot of our clients and a lot of the Posse members. And the love goes all the way around because they provide fantastic product. Don't forget about silver, sterling silver, 100% sterling silver. They have that as well. Jody, I came in on Sunday, post-game reaction, and I was the biggest fan. I was the biggest fan of what I just saw. Probably not the best guy to talk about everything that went wrong in the game. I remember basically almost muting you as I was doing jumping jacks and about ready to pull off my shirt and tear it open like Cam Scadaboo did, because I was off the rails excited about that comeback win. It was one for the ages. But as I kind of alluded to, man, in order to have a comeback of such epic proportions means that you epically didn't perform for quite some time. So I want to get your breakdown a little bit on what didn't go right, because we all know what kind of did go right. We let Bo kind of loose. Things, got laid out on the table and everything had to go, and things fell into place in a lot of different ways and fashion. But it wasn't all roses for the entire game, man.
No, the offense again come out stagnant. They can't get anything going. They just look lethargic. They look down. It's like, cool, we'll go 3 and out. The defense will bail us out again. And this was kind of one of those games that the defense didn't really bail them out. They gave up plays to Jackson Dart. They gave up plays to Cam Scatterbu. They let their tight ends do what they wanted to do. And it's something that's got to get addressed. I mean, this is 6 weeks in, and besides the Cincinnati game, this offense has looked like this all year, really, to be honest. I mean, they've had good stretches, I guess, the Colts game a little bit, but we haven't seen a complete game from this offense yet, and that is, the one thing that I think is holding a lot of people back from saying they are true Super Bowl contenders because of what are you going to get? Are you going to get the first 3 quarters? Or are you going to get the fourth quarter?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's something that's got to change, but I think it's on Sean Payton. He has got to come up with a way to figure out how to put the run game into his offense and set it up and different things. That's where it starts for me.
And let me just ask you this, though, really quick. Do you think that that this, and I'll let you think about this for a second. I'm going to hit the comments for just a quick moment. But do you think what we saw in the fourth quarter can literally be put on the field the first, second, and third quarters? Or do you think that's also a product of how the defense is playing us as well? I just wanted to hit the comments really quick as you think about that. Dan's just coming in here and saying, Broncos, let's go. It's time to beat down the Dallas Cowboys. Randy's coming in here, newer face, and I just read that it's something coincidental, and this is absolutely true. DT passed away when he was 33 years old, the same amount of points we put up in the victory, which, boy, if you're into any of the numerology or anything like that, man, there's a lot to be said in that. Lonnie Alexander is tempting me in going back and watching the MHH podcast that just ended because once again, Rick Upchurch was brought in there. It sounds like Lonnie Alexander, you're a great part of that, getting that all put together, and you'll have an opportunity to meet him. So now I'm always tempted to watch it, but when you bring on a name such as Rich Upchurch, absolutely, man, I'll have to go back and take a look at that as well. And congratulations on being able to maybe meet up with him. Trevor, is this something that you can take the offense that we saw in this fourth quarter and just say, hey, that's absolutely, you can take that same blueprint and it works in the first and the second and the third, and it doesn't matter what the defense is? Or did that Giants defense change in that fourth quarter to kind of allow that offense to open up? What is your opinion on that one?
I think it's a little both. I mean, obviously they were more in a prevent than they were before. I mean, you can hear Brian Burns at the end of the game walking in the tunnel just losing his mind why they're only rushing 3 when they've been rushing 4 all game. So they did get into a little prevent, but this is something Denver can definitely take in the first 3 quarters. Up tempo a little bit, run the ball more, or run it smartly with Bo Nix. That type of stuff. And they open it up. When I go to the Jets game, it's 3rd and 11, and you're losing the game in the fourth quarter, and you hand the ball off to the fullback. This game, you're losing, and it's 3rd and 11, and you throw the ball on a fade pass to Mims for like 30 yards. It's just some of the inconsistencies that don't make any sense to me. When it's like Bo gets out of this, I got to rip it and throw it when they're down, and doesn't care if something bad were to happen. Where in the first 3 quarters, it's like he's been ingrained, and you hear it all the time. He doesn't take sacks. He doesn't turn the ball over, which are all great traits, but I also like how he played last year at the end of the season. Yes, he had turnovers against Cleveland and the Colts, but he was also slinging the ball around and making plays and different things. And I will take a few more interceptions if that means a few more touchdowns than no interceptions and this 3 and out or 6 and out and you get nothing. At some point, Sean Payton has got to take the training wheels off of him and open it up. And Sean Payton has got, in my opinion, also, and I think this is where the number 2 wide receiver conversation, should we go get somebody? It can't be who's the hot guy this week. He has to settle on a guy, whether that's Troy Franklin or that's Marvin Mims, and play him and have a true number 2. You know, he's trying to get Pat Bryant more involved, which I like, but he's got to settle on a number 2. It can't be just who's the hot hand. You don't see teams take the Eagles, for example. If Devontae Smith has a bad or doesn't produce in one game, it's not next man up, and he may or may not get balls thrown his way the next week.
Very true. Very true. Phil McLaughlin coming in says he's with me, and maybe you as well, Judge. He says, I'm still trying to figure out why our team gets on fire at different times, but with no real consistency as well. Because and yeah, you're absolutely right. It's different teams, different times of the game. Typically in the second half, we're not a first half team. Obviously, we're not fast out the gates, and that's something that we continue to work on. And I'll bring it up once again because we brought it up at the very beginning of the show. I am interested to see what Sean Payton has done differently, though he's not going to let the cat out of the bag in practice in order to maybe give us a better start in these games, because we cannot continue to go 3 quarters 0 points and just expect to come back and win it all and tack on 33 points in order to try to get a victory in the closing. Kenny Kirkpatrick, Horseman himself, comes in with a great question. He says, good evening, fellas. I need to know honestly, are there any concerns on the defense? I mean, you did give up 5 touchdowns to a rookie quarterback, and if I'm being fair, Thomas got the best of Benito. Keith, you first. Very good. I would say the concerns is right. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's, as we just got done talking about with the offense, just kind of getting going and getting rolling. The one thing that really concerned me in this particular game, and listening to the post interviews in the locker room or post pressers at times, but mainly in the interviews, was the amount of players that said, yeah, we had kind of given up. We'd kind of given up and thought this was done. And then things started to turn. You know, from Bo Nix all the way through, there was a general conversation, it sounded like, on the sideline of, we can't get anything going. It doesn't seem to be working. Not really sure why. Just not our week. And kind of a believe it or not, just I guess a falling back into the fact that we're going to lose this game until they didn't. And it kind of felt that way, Kenny, in this game for the defense. Maybe just trying to hold up this offense as much as they possibly have. They finally just kind of had it, and they kind of just relented. And it just all started to snowball on the defense just as much as it snowballed negatively for the offense. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Jody. Do you have any concerns on the defense, and especially the 5 touchdowns they gave up against Jackson Dart?
I don't really have any concerns. I think there's a couple things. They are, one, Dre Greenlaw was back, so they were trying to get him involved in the game. So that was one. What linebacker is going to play next to him? 2, they are trying to get Jahdae Barron more on the field. And so, so that's causing them to have to play a little bit different nickel dime to get him on the field, because you can't really they're not going to pull McMillan right now. I mean, he's probably the top slot corner in the NFL right now. He's playing really good football right now. So, but with Jahdae Barron being a first-round pick, they've got to get him on the field, and they're forcing that. So that's part of it. And then,
hey, did you notice that we saw a Q Robinson?
We did.
Sighting though as well. That was pretty nice, man. I liked seeing that.
Yeah, it was. And then they're not blitzing like they did last year. They're like in the middle of the pack blitzing this year. They're just trying to get home with 4 guys. It's worked sometimes. It hadn't. So the all-out blitzing like they were doing a lot of last year, they're not. So it's, in my opinion, it's causing the secondary to have to hold up a little bit longer, which they've been doing a good job, but at some point guys are going to leak open in different things. And then to the Andrew Thomas Benito thing, that doesn't concern me because Andrew Thomas, I mean, when he's healthy, he's an all-pro left tackle. He's a top 5 left tackle in the NFL. And, you know, sometimes you get beat. You know, you had great on great, and Andrew Thomas was a high draft pick for a reason, and he's been all-pro already, so that doesn't really have me concerned. You know, Benito's going to get more top left tackles like that the more sacks he continues to accrue. So
I got a couple of rapid fire ones for us. Love to get your thoughts on this one. I'm turning this one into a question. Dan says, I'm not going to throw this part up on the screen, but Dan says in the back, he says the defense worked hard, hand in hand with the offense on that awesome interception by Sternad. That play by the linebacker gave the Denver Broncos offense life, and finally they capitalized. It was a big turning point. He also goes on to say, truth is, Sternad should be starting. What are your thoughts on Justin Sternad being a starting linebacker besides maybe a Drake Greenlaw rather than an Alex Singleton, who has come on pretty dang good in the last few weeks, I got to say, buddy?
I think I think Singleton still will probably get first crack. I mean, he wears a C. He's the green dot, but Sternad's been playing really well, and it's going to be hard to take him off the field. You don't see now they are doing different things. They are asking Singleton to cover a lot more than Sternad, and at some point, I wish they would change that up because when Greenlaw comes back, he's going to be the linebacker in coverage more. That's what he does really well. So why not switch it up and see if Sternad can cover? But when it comes down to it, if you ask me who starts next to Greenlaw when he's fully healthy, it's Sternad for sure.
Excuse me. One more I got for you, buddy. And this one's coming in from Paul. Paul has a name that I was kind of interested in before the season even started. But wide receiver Lockett just got cut by the Titans. Should we pick up one Lockett? Former Seattle Seahawk, and quite honestly, pretty big weapon up there for quite some time, man. Did the Tennessee Titans do him dirty, and should we pick him up?
No, I don't think they did him dirty because he asked for his release and they released him. So I think they did him right.
I mean, I should do him dirty in what they put around him, especially as bringing him in. I think there was a larger expectation. Let's put it that way.
I don't think so. I mean, when he signed there, he knew they had the number 1 overall pick, and he knew who his quarterback was going to be. So he's already been through that once with Russ as a rookie quarterback, so you know what the ups and downs are.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is a guy that I really want to see here. It's just another average. I don't want to say average. Another. You don't know what to do with Mims and Franklin now as it is, and then what are you going to do with another guy that's just like that? If you're going to go get a wide receiver, they need to go get somebody that Peyton is almost forced to just keep on the field, and Mims or Franklin off, like a Waddle or an Olave or somebody that's almost a number 1 for their team. If that, in my opinion. But to throw another guy in there that's the same skill set as the guys you have now, you just are adding more congestion to the wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you, man. As much as I was more of a proponent to bring in Tyler Lockett prior to, and I don't know why I was spacing on his first name, but someone came in and corrected me and got Tyler Lockett on my brain. But um, you're right, man. I mean, right now, let's work with what we have when it comes to the wide receiver room. Unless you're going to blow me out of the water and bring in a name that's outstanding and should be pushing for a number one almost on this roster in some regards. Pearl's
Plus,
saying, "Oh, go ahead."
I mean, I'll add. I mean, as much as I think a lot of people want to go get a number 2 or even a number 1 wide receiver, one, you have like $5 million in cap space, so you're going to have to maneuver some things there to make it work, or get the team you're trading with to pick up a lot of money. And two, this is the second year really that we've had these really the same wide receivers, and Denver has really not addressed it with another big name. So, I mean, all offseason they knew what was coming back, and they go and draft a wide receiver in the 3rd round. They didn't move up in the 1st round to go get the best wide receiver or anything. So, I don't think that's really what Denver wants. Would I love to see Waddle or Olave or somebody like that? Sure, but I think a lot of it still, it doesn't matter if you have Jerry Rice on both wide receivers. If you're throwing bubble screens and that type of thing all the time, what good does it do?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Peyton was asking his presser a little bit about, the NFL, trade deadline and the possibility. He says he talks to George Payton every day, and a few things have to be aligned or true or what have you in order for that to happen. It's probably unlikely, and I would love to think that one of those things is really about how that player fits in the locker room, as much as what they bring to the table. So it brings a lot of things into question, when maybe adding a piece to the puzzle, and if that's going to be happening. I believe it's November 6th is the trade deadline. All right, buddy. Trade with the Saints for Chris Olave. I see that one. And Alvin Kamara, says Dan Wickett. He's going all in when it comes to trade. Alvin Kamara said he wants to finish his career with the Saints. Any trades to pound the table for? Boy, if I was going to pound a table for anybody, if it was going to be the case right off the top of my head, I'd probably say Mark Andrews. Get a tight end in there that I think is fairly dynamic, can do a couple of things pretty dang well, and honestly is kind of at the end of his career, so that I'm not tied to him forever. It's a piece of the puzzle for this year, maybe next, and then we can quickly move on into younger talent. I don't like adding old talent to a team, especially for a long period of time. Any trades you're pounding the table for there, Judge?
Pounding the table, not really. I mean, I would be fine if would be excited if you went and got a Waddle or a Olave or Shaheed, the other wide, or is it the other wide receiver in New Orleans, but
Yep.
But it doesn't really matter, because you can go watch tape and wide receivers are getting open. And when I say open, I'm talking NFL open, not 4 or 5 steps open. But Bo Nix has got to get into that little gunslinger mentality and rip the ball. And until that happens, this is what you're going to end up with. It doesn't have to be like the touchdown to Sutton in the Chargers game where he's wide open for him to throw deep. He needs to, trust his arm and, throw wide receivers open or throw when they're open. So I think some of this is on Bo Nix some of it's on Sean Payton because he's ingrained into him so much. Don't turn the ball over. That I think Bo Nix is scared to take chances or to do that type of stuff. But it's also on Bo. I want Bo playing like he did at the end of the season last year. Yes, there were interceptions and different things, but he was ripping the ball and he was making plays down the field and different things. And so I'll take some of those interceptions because of our defense and trusting that they can have his back when he does something like that, knowing that he will drive down the field and, most of the time make a smart play and is still throwing it deep and stuff. So again, I don't think that one wide receiver is going to solve the problems here. So
I got one statement, two questions. First statement, and I love this analogy. In the fourth quarter of this last game, I think we saw Oregon Bo Nix. Oregon Bo Nix, where he felt comfortable. He was back there. He was ripping it. He was running it. He felt in control, like at a different level than we saw through the first three quarters. That's my comment. First question is: will you be joining us Friday for a game preview of this upcoming Dallas Cowboys matchup?
I probably will not be on Friday.
Okay, so then I need you to start thinking about a prediction because I want to get that down, my friend. But the question, as you think about that prediction really quick, I want to get your thoughts on Dre Greenlaw, not just his limited snaps that he did produce quite well on, but everything that followed at the end of the game and your thoughts on that. I see a few comments on that as well, so I want to get your thoughts on that if you don't mind.
On the field, for the 20 snaps he had, I thought he played great. I mean, he record 6 tackles. I mean, he blasted Jackson Dart one time, welcomed him into the NFL. So that I think was fine. The off the field thing, I'm not going to dive into it too much because you can turn it however you want. If there's audio of him threatening Brad Allen, then it's deserved. If there's not, and the league just took Brad Allen at his word, I don't like that because, and I don't want to make this political, but it's innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. He lost his appeal, but like we've spoken in the chat, he's supposed to be a leader of this team. He's been around long enough. What's the end game to get in Brad Allen's face and read him the riot act? What are you getting out of it other than what you got?
Yeah, I get that. Before you get your prediction, I'll just put my 2 cents in on it. I love the passion. I get getting wrapped up in the passion. I think that's a little bit of the fire that you do end up getting with an athlete, a player like Dre Greenlaw that you love to see on the field, that sometimes can spread a little bit further than what you would like. I'm not gonna condemn him for it. The only downside is we've been waiting so dang long to see Dre Greenlaw to just miss one more game. It kind of hurts, man. We want to get the most we possibly can, or at least I do, out of Dre Greenlaw. So keep your nose clean. I want to see a lot more Dre Greenlaw, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Adding to that, I hope that it doesn't I hope it doesn't set back the 20 games this week, and then it was supposed to ramp up to whatever 30, 40 next week. I hope it doesn't set him back
the snaps. Yeah,
well, not so much the snaps, but I hope it's not. Everything was getting built up, and then they shut him down for a week, or he shut down for a week, and then do they have to start back and ramp him up at 20 and start it all over again, or can he jump into the 40? That type of thing. I hope it doesn't mess that up. But to a larger thing with this, I wish the NFL, for being $1 billion entity and the amount of money they have, please get full-time refs. It's ridiculous that you're the only, major sporting out there that doesn't have full-time refs. There's no reason that you don't have full-time refs, that you don't have stuff in the off season where you're training these guys and you're doing different things with them, and it's a full-time thing. That it makes no sense to me, especially the NFL. They've went into the gambling and they've done different things, and everyone's invested in it. And I mean, you're costing a lot of people big time money on certain things, just like that pass interference call. That was a garbage call. It was bad. You can go look at still frames of it. Riley Moss turned his head. They were hand fighting. That was not pass interference. And the ref that's right there doesn't call it. The ref that's way 10 yards in the back of the end zone calls it. It's just stuff like that
calls it all into question. Yeah.
Right. And you can see why Greenlaw gets upset, and Brad Allen and his crew get nothing out of it.
Mm-hmm. Phil comes in. He says, we'll get to your prediction after this, because I think this is a great segue. If there was ever a time to let a second-year quarterback be a gunslinger, it's now, when you have one of the best Ds in the NFL. Right now, we'll be going up against one of the worst defenses and one of the top-scoring offenses in the league, as the Dallas Cowboys come in their throwbacks as we wear our throwbacks in Denver for this matchup come Sunday. Are they going to let him loose, let him be a gunslinger? What are your thoughts on this game? Give me a prediction, since we might not see a Friday, Jody.
I don't know how much they're definitely, in my opinion, they're going to open it up, and I think you're going to see some up tempo and some different things. Dallas scores. They're the leading, offense in the NFL, and they are getting healthy at the right time. Their O-line is basically healthy again. CeeDee's back. Ferguson is just destroying it for tight ends, and Javonte is 2021 Javonte again for whatever reason in Dallas. So the defense is going to have their hands full. It sucks that Greenlaw has to miss this game. But I hope that this is a game that the defense wins championships and the Broncos offense gets right. And for them to win this game, I think they're going to have to score a minimum of 27. So I see somewhere like 27, 24, 27-20 Denver, somewhere in there.
Lots of predictions in. I'll throw one of the last ones up because Michael's kind of right in there. 27 for the Broncos, 17 for the Cowboys. Paul's saying it's Pookie 2.0. And Jeremy Dressler right on there with you, man. Full-time refs. Lots of predictions coming in this evening. Lots of conversation, including having a posse member on the show. Thank you, Roy Osborne, for coming on, sharing a little bit about what was this last Sunday for the Denver Broncos as they pulled off that victory 32-33. We go live every Wednesday like we are right now. Me and Jody, chop it up, talk a little bit of a review of the last game, the news stories of the week, and kind of get a little bit ready for maybe what's around the corner, because Friday we go live again, 7:15, 7:30. Make sure you hit the notification button, the subscribe button, so you know exactly when we're going live. But we go live again on Friday, talking pregame, what's to come, as this week we'll be talking about the Cowboys. And then don't forget about that postgame right after the game, going live, getting your reaction, man. It was off the hook this last week, even if I was a little bit off the hook and trying to cut Jody off because I was so riled up about this win. And then the morning juice, man. Go all around the NFL with my good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Lots and lots of podcasts to check out, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify as well. But any final thoughts from Pearl is saying a 24-20 victory for our Denver Broncos. Any final thoughts before you get out of here and get prepared for this big matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday, Jody?
You're in your throwback uniforms, probably the best looking uniforms in my opinion in the NFL.
Yeah, baby.
The way this defense is playing, and I don't want ever in Sunday's game is a one-off. The way this defense is playing and their potential, this offense doesn't have to score 35 points a game. This offense just has to be competent, and if you can score 10 points a half or something in the first half or 14, a touchdown a quarter, is that asking too much? Something like that. I mean, if you think about it, you most of the time start at the 35 and you get 25 yards. That's not a lot. You're in field goal range.
Ain't that the truth these days in the NFL?
So there's no reason that this team is scoring 13 points. It's ridiculous. I would like to see Bo Nix and Sean Payton get more on the same page, and Sean let him open it up a little more and that type of thing. It's only going to help this offense if you're just going to hold them stagnant like this and hope that you throw 11 bubble screens and you're going to get one or two broke a game. That isn't going to cut it come playoff time, because someone's going to score on you whether you have the best defense or not, and you're going to have to answer. So figure out a way to move the ball and score points.
Yeah, got to get off to a quick start. We'll be talking more about that on Friday, but you're absolutely right, Jody. I like your analysis. It's been a great show talking about the Denver Broncos, all their struggles in a victory. I love coming in here and talking about all their struggles and also be talking about a victory at the same time. Hopefully a few less struggles this Sunday as they match up against the Dallas Cowboys and those throwbacks, and get out there, get off to a hot start, and put this away a little bit earlier. We're going to have to put this one away. Man, appreciate Roy coming in here and being a part of the show. Again, thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for the new names that were in here. Always love seeing new names. That's all about of you all liking, sharing, subscribing, making sure that you're hitting the notification button. Believe it or not, all of those things make sure that you get in front of more Broncos fans just like you. Grow that posse and have more fun, whether it be Wednesday, Friday, Mondays, Sunday after the game, whatever it happens to be, man. But we do need to get out of here. Appreciate you being with us, man. Can't wait to be talking with you again on Friday. So make sure you come back for that episode as well. We'll get out of here the way we always do. Keep your boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and of course, the Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next time, we're out of here. Have a great night, everybody. See ya on Friday.